Ya, kembali lagi bersama kami.
Kayak siaran dunia dalam berita. Kita kedatangan tamu spesial hari ini. Tapi sebelum ngomongin tamu spesial, sedikit beda. Udah lama kita nggak settingan seperti ini. 2 rak isinya pomade. Nggak semua pomade yang ada di dunia dan di Indonesia sih, cuma beberapa pilihan lah kalau bisa dibilang.
Ini udah disortir, tadinya lebih banyak lagi. Ini beberapa brand yang kita suka dan kita appreciate banget karena kualitasnya bagus. Jadi kalau lo pemegang brand-brand ini di Indonesia atau di Southeast Asia ya, ada Bird, ada Rausel, ya buat Chief ini adalah kalibernya brand-brand yang
Sebenarnya tujuannya kita ada seperti ini adalah untuk keep up to date. Terus udah gitu kita juga bisa ngerasain, cobain pomade-pomade dari luar negeri itu seperti apa, kemudian harumnya, teksturnya, hasil akhirnya. Karena kalau kita hanya lihat di Instagram aja atau kita lihat reviewnya aja, mungkin kita nggak akan pernah bisa tahu. Jadi makanya beberapa kita beli, ada juga yang dikasih sama distributor. Tapi itu tujuannya sih supaya kalau misalnya kita mau ngerasain, ya tinggal ngambil aja di sini terus kita cobain. Yang sebelah sini khusus Chief semua. Yang atas ada beberapa gabungan dari pomade-pomade kita yang lama. Ada Dollar. Pomade tuh udah lama banget. Sekarang nggak tahu masih ada atau enggak. Ini ada beberapa merek Jepang, ada beberapa merek Malaysia.
nggak tahu nih, udah ada yang pernah tahu nggak? Ini oil base yang warna merah zaman dulu.
Sebelum diperbaiki.
Sebelum di-improve. Removal.
Removal. Ini udah lama banget.
Ini adalah degreaser untuk ngilangin oil base. Sekarang udah nggak diproduksi lagi. Tapi kita tetap simpan di sini sebagai bagian dari sejarahnya, Chief.
Seperti yang udah gue bilang barusan, kita akan ada kedatangan tamu spesial. Siapa tamu spesial kita untuk vlog episode sekarang? Dia adalah barberman. Dia adalah barberman atau dia adalah barberman dari luar negeri. Sudah terkenal Instagramnya. Kalau lo ada di Instagram, lo buka Chaps and Rebels, follow langsung Chaps and Rebels karena kita langsung kedatangan hari ini the one and only the owner, Mr. Jai.
Minum Jai. Nggak muat.
Iya.
Halo.
Jadi buat yang udah sering lihat Instagramnya Chaps and Rebels, the best barbershop in Brunei, dan Mr. Jai ini adalah man behind the gun. Jadi sebenarnya hubungan kita udah lama ya.
Iya.
Udah kenal berapa?
What? 3 years?
3 years ya.
3 years.
Jadi
And counting.
dulu tuh kita ingat waktu zamannya mungkin Instagram kita masih berapa ya, masih sedikit banget followersnya ya. Waktu itu kita juga baru buka barbershop, cabangnya masih Senopati.
Senopati.
Ya.
Meetingnya
Iya,
di
Senopati.
Appetite di sebelah.
Iya.
Jadi Senopati ke cabang pertama kita, cabang Chief pertama. Terus I forgot siapa yang
You was a banker. You were a banker at the time, right?
Yeah, I was a banker at that time, and I decided to quit my job and open a barbershop, and actually sacrifice all my free time and my effort, 200% into running a business, and forget about my easy life in the banking world. That's it.
Your 9 to 5 job.
My 9 to 5 job, fixed salary, for a new challenge lah, basically. But this is actually very exciting. Yeah, so exciting. I mean, you don't know where this is going to lead, but every day is a new challenge. But just for your info, saya potong rambut. Run a barbershop, market my barbershop, clean the shop, basically everything from A to Z. But that what makes it interesting. So yeah.
Yang paling basic banget pertanyaannya adalah why do you choose barber industry for your career path or business path? What makes you fell in love with barber?
Actually, I've always wanted to do something. Do it. It's basically there's none like of a cool barbershop, and then there's a lack of appreciation for male grooming. I mean, in my place, you see, I like to do my hair every month. Basically, this is like a ritual for every man, right? So when I look around in Brunei, only a few choices. Like you have to go to Indian barbershop ataupun salon.
Okay.
Jadi what happen is when you go to the Indian salon, there's always a communication breakdown, and then for them it's just 5 minutes,
Fast.
10 minutes fast haircut. Yeah, the faster you get, the more customers you get. That's the end game. So and then if you go to salon, most of them are trained like doing fashionable hair. What's the latest in the market? And then it's just so happened that all the hairdressers in Brunei, they are so crazy about Chinese honky hairstyle, Korean, Japanese, which is so complicated. Not every man can carry that can wear the hairstyle.
Yeah.
So I always having a dilemma actually. I'm having a dilemma. So why can't I go to a place where I can have a straightforward men's haircut, like a gentleman haircut, and then with a great service, great atmosphere, where you can have a conversation with your barber. So this is rewind like maybe about close to 15 years ago. I was already thinking about this. Yeah, 16. I said when I retire one day, when I quit my job, I want to open a barber shop. I wasn't thinking of doing barbering myself. Nggak terpikir mau potong rambut. I just want to run a business. I said, barbershop business is, I think it's a good business model, because men have to cut their hair, have to, it's a service industry. If you do it right, I think you can go you can go a long way with this barbering business.
Why you suddenly shift your plan from just owning to actually doing the barbering?
Yeah.
What is the trigger?
Sebenarnya I get into it is by accident. By accident, yeah. By accident meaning like any other business. If you want to do business right, you have to know from A to Z of the business. So you have to get down into all the nitty-gritty. So like I said, if I want to open a barbershop and then hire someone, ambil orang lain buat, but then I don't know what is the process of having a good haircut. Then I want to tell you, when I want to tell my barberman, saya mau macam ini, they can easily tell me that it cannot be done. It cannot be done. I don't understand what you want. This is the way that we do it. I mean, this is the they can just tell me this is the process of doing it. We have been doing this for long, so there's no other way.
Yeah.
But if you yourself can achieve the haircut basic, and you know all the process, so it will be easier for you to tell your barberman, okay, so we want to go, this is fade, things like that. This is fade. You're from zero to two, skin fade, everything. So you all the technical things you can explain to them. So by myself doing that also, I somehow I get the hang of it. I actually took up the machine and the scissors and start doing it on my own. Just practice on my own.
The next question will be funny.
Yeah.
Who is your who is your first customer?
My first customer.
And what happened to that guy?
my first customer yang pertama ya.
Your kid.
My kids.
Your son,
actually.
yeah.
My son.
That makes sense, right?
I have two boys at that time.
Yeah.
Two boys, and I just start cutting the hair, taking the clipper, and then start doing a simple cut with them. But actually, it wasn't easy
Yeah.
with the kids because they lose focus. They will not last on the chair for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
So you
for
can't
sure.
finish a haircut. That's a problem. Yeah. So back to the question just now. I got it into barbering accidentally. So and I realized during that time the locals in Brunei are not into this, and I said why the locals are not doing it.
So that's another homework you have to make people.
Why the locals are not doing it, and then why are barbering profession only is dominated by foreign barbers. Why the locals are not doing it? I
Yep.
said this is like a viable job. So I said okay, let's do this. Where I just want to push myself where it will lead me. So by doing that, and you also show to the locals that it can be done. So fast forward like a few months after doing it myself, then I post my work on Instagram. So I start getting like people like, hey, can you cut my hair? Then people start to I didn't have a barber shop back then, so I only do it in my house, in my room. So I get people like, okay, you cut my hair, I tell them that this is just experiment, so I'm not going to charge you. Yeah, so just do it for free. If you like it, then it's up to you. I said that's how I started.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting 4 years plus.
Journey.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 years right for me right now. So until right now I have I own 2 barbershops right now. Yeah. Then during the process I get to know these two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we met, you already opened your shop? Or
Yeah.
you already
done. Yeah. Done.
But only have
I don't know how. Who contacted who?
I think we contacted you.
Yeah. But
For
for
the
the
first
pomade,
time.
right? For the
I think at that time for pomade.
No.
Huh?
I remember now. I think you always left messages on my Instagram.
Yeah,
I said
yeah.
okay, and I happened to like I got really interested in how you run your
Yeah.
barbershop. That's why I decided to come to Jakarta and check out your barbershop
Yeah.
and see personally.
Yeah. At that time you also went to other barbershop, not only us, right?
Yeah. I wanted to look at other barbershop.
Alexander
Yeah.
barbershop, Alexander
Yes,
at that
yes.
time. Jadi how we met itu adalah sebenarnya ketertarikan gimana sih cara running bisnis barbershop, karena nggak ada bisnis barbershop itu very traditional kind of business. There's no school or no one can educate or transfer knowledge to us. Sama kayak Jai, gue dan Fatsi juga waktu itu ketika mau mulai bisnis ini sama sekali zero knowledge about barbershop. Kita simply sama juga at that time, kenapa ya nggak ada barbershop yang keren gitu.
Yeah.
Waktu itu memang udah ada first wave barbershop, ada Alexander, Barberbox juga udah ada,
Barber Bros,
ada Ugos, tapi udah that's it. Untuk kota segede Jakarta hanya 4 barbershop itu yang terus disebut-sebut, ada Manhattan juga at that time. Terus kita kepikiran yaudah kita buka. Cuma kita buka juga cari bingung gitu mulainya dari mana, mau cari tempat dulu, cari barberman, karena to be honest very different to Jai. Kita nggak memutuskan untuk belajar, kita justru lebih mendalami bisnisnya gitu at that time. Gimana caranya untuk bikin sebuah barbershop yang bisa dapat tamu pada saat itu. Yang kita tahu adalah, yang penting adalah how to deliver the quality, deliver the expectation of our customers at that time. Jadi makanya kita coba cari tempat itu harus nyaman, harus keren. Barberman akhirnya kita coba cari dari temen kita, jadi dari barber ke barber ke barber, akhirnya ketemu lah 2 barberman pioneer bisa dibilang. Kalau di dunia barbershop tuh pangkas rambut sebutannya adalah barber man perintis. Jadi perintisnya tuh ada 2, Imam dan Ilham.
Sama waktu itu kita juga putusin kita harus punya produk range yang lengkap.
Iya, pada saat itu kita masih belum kepikiran tentang chief pomade, tapi kita kepikiran bahwa barbershop itu selain memberikan gaya rambut yang keren melalui barberman-nya, tentu aja harus didukung oleh produk pomade atau produk hair grooming yang lengkap. Jadi at that time we try to source all kind of pomade from all around the world. Ada smear, kita ngomongnya waktu itu dari US, dari Europe, dari Australia, ada uppercut, dari
Lerite,
Suavecito. Jadi
Bonafide, Jazz Loan.
Jazz Loan. Terus ada smear, ada few Europe brands. Jadi selain dari service, kita punya produk. Kita nyebutnya waktu itu adalah pomade bar ya. Jadi kita punya beberapa. Itu sebelum ada isu red light, import, dan juga ada BPOM dan lain sebagainya. Sampai akhirnya after 4 months we open the pomade bar, somehow ada tuh muncul lah si import restriction of pomade. Jadi makanya kita kepikiran why not we just research and develop our own pomade at that time. So
Waktu datang, we already have our pomade, right?
I think so. No, you started giving me these small packs, small packs, yang kotak plastik itu yang,
Oh, sample.
And I think you already started using it in your shop that time. Yeah. So
Mid 2014.
I think it's mid 2004.
As a businessman, as an artist.
not an artist lah.
Not artist sinetron. It's an art man.
How do I manage?
It's two different thing, right?
It's two different world lah basically.
Yeah,
You're not focused.
The other thing is looking at the numbers, tables, managing, control, and etc. And the other thing is you don't do it by control, right? You're simply just using a craftsmanship.
Yeah. So, what was the question again?
How do you manage it?
How do I manage it?
Because just to give a little bit difference between you and us, because we are only thinking about the business, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to think about how I leverage our skill. But you have a very different challenge because you need to grow your own business. At the same time, you need to grow yourself as a barber. How you manage your own time?
It's not easy basically, but I think if you go back to all barbering history, right? Semuanya yang running barbershop itu adalah barbers. Then they also like then they also have to think about the business. So owner and barber at the same time. So I think you can classify me as the old school. How do you say? My approach is really traditional. You also become a barber. You also run a business. So I can tell you it's hard it's really hard if you don't have a business acumen. You don't know about business. Tidak ada ilmu tentang business, and also you're juggling everything basically. So if you don't have any ilmu on cutting hair, and you don't have talent, it's really hard. But somehow if you do your own business, right, you gotta keep on pushing yourself. I mean, there's no like, if you slack one day, your competitors, your neighbors, everything will get ahead of you 10 steps. So every day is like every day to me is every day is like how do you say, it motivates me to go deeper and further into the business. It's really different from the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job. Yeah. So basically,
No Facebook, yeah.
no. Yeah.
No Facebook during 9 to 5.
Right. Yeah, it's a different challenge. You have to push yourself every day. Basically, if you don't push yourself, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it. So that's why I don't miss my old job. To tell you honestly.
You don't have
Sorry,
time.
guys. if any of my ex-colleague watching this, I'm sorry I have to say that. I didn't
You
miss.
don't have time to miss your old job. Right?
Yeah, I didn't have time to like reminisce. Oh, how I miss my. Yeah, you know, it's like every day. It's like you have to think, what's next, and then with me, you know, how you gonna top up your skills. So what's next in the trend down the line, like 5 to 10 years, where it's gonna lead.
Yeah.
You know, am I gonna become, you know, am I gonna adapt? Am I gonna become a saloon, or you know, there's hundreds of
Option,
options because this business is like organic. Like for you guys, you are going into the coffee thing, which is somehow complements
Each other. Yeah.
complements the, you know, the barbering culture, and then you also come up with your own pomade basically. So you know, there's hundreds of things that it's organic basically.
Yeah.
So you have to push yourself lah. It's not easy. Sometimes you want to cry if you know,
Yeah.
one day like bulan tua belum gajian, nggak ada yang masuk di barbershop, and here you are, you know, you're waiting for your customers like for 2 hours or 3 hours, and you see
No one.
basically there's no one. You know, you will, oh man, did I do wrong? They don't like us anymore, or what?
Yeah, that's hard.
You know,
That's
you,
hard.
yeah, it's really hard. So yeah, yeah, but yeah, really interesting. really interesting. Yeah.
So Jai is actually juggling and trying so hard, but it's understatement, isn't it?
Yeah.
What you actually doing is
Yeah.
is more than that, right?
It's more than that. It's more than that.
From your perspective,
Yeah.
which variable is the hardest?
Staff motivation.
Staff motivation.
Staff motivation is one thing.
So you have a team right now.
Yeah, I have a team. I have a very good team.
After 2 years, 3 years.
After
3 years, you have
yeah.
a
Yeah,
person.
I have a team now.
Mm.
Staff motivation to put on their 200%, same like you, to get on the same level, to share the same vision. That's what is important. If they don't share the same vision as you, so you know, it's
they're going in the wrong direction.
yeah. So because here I am, I want to maintain my quality and my service, but then getting them to put in the 200% same as yours is really hard. You need to push them. I think the quality, jaga quality, consistency.
Yep.
Consistency, like because this is the service industry, you know, the customers are spending their money in your shop. So if they don't like your service, if there's one thing, the little things that you don't pay attention to, because customers,
Their boss.
they're the boss. They can be picky, you know. They can be picky. Even a simple thing that your comb is dirty, a lot of hairs, your machine is dirty, because some are very particular about hygiene, right? So if they pick those little things, and they don't like it, and you are being careless about it, they will run away. Especially in my places, population is very small, so you gotta keep all these customers happy. So if you're not being consistent, that's it. Your customers can go to other shop. So you lose that customer.
I'm interested to know a bit more about what, in your point of view, what will be the top 5 priority in building a barbershop business? Because most of our viewers, they are split into 2. One is the practitioner, which is the barber.
Yeah.
And then the second group, probably they are the business owner. They just want to understand, if I want to open a barbershop, what will be what 5 things that I need to put focus on? based on your 4 years experience and currently you're already starting to open the second barbershop.
Second. What are the main focus?
Ya, apa ya istilahnya? 5 most important.
A tip from you.
Yeah, just a tip.
Okay. If you want to open a barbershop, so I think first and foremost, you have to ask yourself, why do you want to go into this business? Why? So you ask yourself, is it because just to follow the trend? Is it because probably you think that it's easy to run? Or, you know,
Oh, that mindset is important.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah, yeah. So why? You have to understand the business. You have to understand the business just like any other business. You have to understand it. If you don't understand it, then how are you gonna set up a business? What does it take, to get it off the ground and running and maintaining and sustaining the business? If you don't if you have no interest in, opening a restaurant, any other business, so basically you have to understand it. So you have to ask yourself again, why do you run it? Is it just because you just want to make money, or is it because of the trend? If you think you want to run it, you want to open a business because of its trend actually dies, so you have to understand it. Secondly, I think this is a service industry.
Yeah.
So people needs this service. So you have to deliver the service.
Yeah.
You have to deliver, the customer's expectation. So if you meet the expectation, they will definitely go to you. Right. And the third one is is to manage your people. Motivate your people, your team basically. So, and a good leadership.
Okay.
And the fifth one, I think you have to keep yourself updated. What's going on in the industry?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think customers, once in a while, the customers wants surprises.
Yes.
Want something new.
Something new. You give them something new every once in a while. So you have to keep yourself updated basically.
Jadi kalau misalkan boleh diulangin lagi, ada 5. Gue akan coba translate dalam bahasa Indonesia. Yang paling pertama adalah mengenai why, kenapa lo mau buka usaha barbershop. In any business, the why factor itu sangat penting. Karena itu akan menentukan tujuan lo kemana gitu. Apa dan kenapa lo mau melakukan ini. Semua action kan ada drivernya gitu, ada triggernya. Kenapa sih lo mau melakukan any kind of stuff, any kind of action. Ini adalah pertanyaan paling basic menurut gue, sangat relevan banget buat lo yang mau buka barbershop atau usaha lain. Balik lagi, why-nya, kenapanya harus dijawab dulu, karena itu yang akan membedakan usaha lo atau barbershop lo dibandingkan dengan barbershop lain. Dan faktor kenapa ini yang akan membuat lo terus termotivasi gitu. Karena as an entrepreneur lo nggak ada jam kerja, as an entrepreneur lo nggak ada bos, as an entrepreneur lo nggak ada tuntutan gitu. Beda kalau lo usaha di kantor, lo masih masuk jam 7, jam pulang jam 4, lo punya bos, lo punya KPI dan lain sebagainya. As an entrepreneur you can easily, lo kan sangat mudah terdistract, terbawa arus. Tiba-tiba misalkan barbershop lagi nggak seru nih, gue tutup aja, gue buka ini. Jadi nggak fokus gitu. Jadi why ini akan membuat lo tetap fokus. Yang pertama. Kedua tadi
Service excellence.
Service excellence.
Yeah.
Menurut kita ini juga penting. Service excellence is di Chief juga is top of our agenda juga. Jadi itu merupakan salah satu yang paling penting, bahwa service excellence itu harus di-deliver bukan hanya kita sebagai manajemen, tapi juga tim barber, tapi juga tim coffee. Karena kita seperti yang Jai bilang bergerak di bidang jasa gitu. Kita bergerak di usaha yang harus membuat orang itu senang atau memuaskan orang gitu. Jadi bisnis kita ini ada di dalam bisnis yang harus memuaskan orang. terutama bagaimana memenuhi ekspektasi mereka. Kalau mereka datang mau diekspektasinya, gue pengen gaya rambut ala Cristiano Ronaldo, ya itu ekspektasinya mereka. Mau bisa atau enggak, gimana kita sebagai barber atau barbershop sebisa mungkin memberikan pengertian atau ya deliver Cristiano Ronaldo gaya rambutnya gitu. Atau gue mau gaya rambut mohawk padahal dia rambutnya tipis misalnya. Itu juga gimana caranya kita bisa memberikan service excellence, mungkin bukan hanya skill tapi juga bagaimana kita berkomunikasi ke mereka bahwa mungkin tidak bisa tapi kita bisa memberikan solusi, itu yang paling penting. Ketiga, mau share?
Yang ketiga itu Jaya bilang motivated employee, sama yang keempat adalah good leadership. Kalau kita ngelihatnya dua hal ini bisa kita gabung. Kalau lo
Boleh,
punya
ya.
good leadership, otomatis akan memotivasi karyawan.
Ya.
Memang nggak secara langsung, tapi sebagai contoh, kalau yang punya bisnis atau yang punya barber dalam konteks ini adalah Jaya, nggak datang jam 9 pagi tank gitu, gimana karyawan atau timnya bisa ikut dalam gerbong Chaps and Rambut contohnya gitu. Tapi memang ada elemen culture juga. Mungkin kita nggak tahu ada perbedaan yang signifikan antara culture yang ada di Brunei dengan apa yang ada di Indonesia. Mungkin Jay kemarin udah cerita juga bahwa di sana dan ini adalah salah satu alasan kenapa dia struggling. Mereka ada culture di mana semuanya sudah di provide. Mereka ada culture di mana mereka layback pun they will get the job done. Tapi balik lagi di service industry ini, dan Jay sendiri sudah terjun langsung di situ, nggak bisa gitu. Customer itu akan sangat sensitif terhadap service yang diberikan. Jadi kalau karyawannya tidak termotivasi dan satu visi dengan business owner, dengan visi perusahaan, akan sangat sulit untuk menjalankan bisnisnya. Terus yang terakhir, stay up to date. Menurut kita juga itu kayaknya adalah salah satu jawaban kenapa kita kemarin launching Chief Barber Voyage. Kita tetap up to date dengan apa yang ada di dunia. Dengan teknologi, dunia jadi rasanya semakin kecil. Kita bisa lihat apa yang terjadi di belahan dunia yang lain dengan waktu yang sangat cepat. Dan menjawab pertanyaan yang tadi, ada di nomor satu juga, why into the business and how to survive the trendy business is actually staying up to date. Jadi kalau lo nggak up to date, lo nggak bisa survive this trendy business yang lo mau, kalau mau bilang ini trendy business.
Dan bagaimana caranya up to date? Sebenarnya banyak keuntungan buat kalian yang membuka atau memulai bisnis di tahun ini dibandingkan 10 tahun yang lalu. Kalau 10 tahun yang lalu mungkin belum ada Google, atau 20 tahun yang lalu belum ada Google. Sekarang lo nggak perlu harus jalan-jalan ke luar negeri atau lo harus pergi kemana, you just open Instagram, terus open Google dan lain sebagainya. Gimana caranya lo mau keep yourself updated aja gitu. Jadinya selama lo mau untuk maju, selama lo mau
pasti bisa
update, pasti bisa gitu, karena semuanya udah tersedia selama ada jaringan internet gitu. Jadi menurut kita persaingan bisnis akan semakin berat, semakin ketat, karena semua orang bisa, tinggal gimana caranya lo mau atau enggak gitu. Gimana caranya lo bisa membedakan diri lo dengan barbershop sebelah bisnis lo, karena barbershop itu sangat simple gitu untuk bukanya. You just need a place, you just need a good title of your barbershop. Yang ketiga, kalau lo bisa nyukur bagus, kalau nggak bisa mungkin lo bisa cari bisa berpartner dengan barber yang ada yang bagus.
Enough capital.
Simply ya udah lo bisa buka 3 kursi dengan ruang tunggu, beli pomade juga sekarang gampang.
But to run it properly, basically kalau kita melihatnya, you need to build your brand gitu. Jadi bukan hanya barbershop tapi brand. Chaps and Rebels tuh brandnya mau dibawa kayak gimana sih? Chief itu brandnya mau dibawa kayak gimana sih? Other barbershop itu, karena setiap barbershop punya signature, punya karakternya sendiri-sendiri gitu. Beyond despite the difference barber dan juga gayanya dan lain sebagainya, cuma memang karakter dari brandnya itu harus dibangun, gak hanya cari nama terus udah run barbershop, bukan kayak gitu sih menurut kita.
That's it. Apalagi message untuk barber, untuk viewers kita yang barber atau juga owner atau barber owner, ada nggak?
Simple. It's for everyone. Basically, it's for everyone. And anything you do is you work hard, you play hard. That's it. It's simple. Just keep on pushing.
Iya.
Yeah.
Oke.
Finish my coffee.
Sekarang yang berhubungan dengan display kita yang baru ini, mungkin kita mau tanya Jai dari varian Chief pomade yang paling lo suka yang mana? Which one do you like the most?
Atau Brunei yang love the most?
Brunei love the most. That's tough, but for myself, this from Chief, yeah. I think Chief hit the jackpot with this one.
Ya. Ini dari pertama kali
Yeah.
banget nih.
Yeah, this product is really awesome. Probably you've tried it, but yeah, I mean you can testify for yourself. But coming from me, I think they hit the jackpot with this one. Period.
Thank you.
Yeah, the blue thing, the blue awesome. In my cutting process, this one I use for to wet the hair basically, and to lose the grease in your hair. So it's pre-cutting. You put this on. So basically it will just make your hair wet, so it's easier for you to cut. And when you put this on your customer's hair, it's just refresh them during the cutting process. They feel really refreshed, because the smell is really good. This one. Yep. This one is before cutting.
Oke.
This one is after you've done the cutting. So this one you liken it to grooming spray. So basically, after you done shampooing, after the cut, shampooing and everything, you put on this tonic. So this one will act as a grooming spray. Grooming spray is something like this, right? So, but they come up with this. So you put this on, and then this will help you when you hair dry. So it will give you a bit of volume, and again the smell is really nice.
Meanwhile, kalau ada pertanyaan tentang barber business, tentang kalau lu mau jadi barber di Brunei, gimana caranya? Bisa tanya ke Jai.
Just email it to me. Put your resume, buat resumenya di bawah YouTube, and then I will try to reply your inquiry.
Ya. Untuk yang beruntung, pertanyaannya bagus, atau mungkin lo keterima kerjaan di Brunei di barbershop Jai, kita akan bagiin Chief Travel Pack Edition Chief Blue seperti biasa di comment box di bawah. Jangan lupa subscribe. So I think that's all.
Ya. Nanti kalau ada pertanyaan langsung tanya aja, dia akan menjawab langsung. Kita ketemu di Kamis.
Peace.
Oh iya benar.
Selamat menyambut Lebaran.
Wes.
Meet us in UK.
Yes.
Not fasting.
Selamat Ramadan.
Sambil.